8 years or going on 8 years.
Could you explain what your duties are as a communication officer for the Ashland County Police Department?
Yes, I take non-emergency and emergency calls, also dispatch west, east of Athens Park County, and monitor sheriffs and dispatch fire.
I want to ask you to say about like you are, you're fine, right where you were, don't lean in, don't get that close. 5 inches. Thank you.
Ma'am, I'd like to take you back to March 22nd. I'd like to take you back to March 22nd, 2011, please, ma'am. Okay. Were you employed by the Ashland Park County Police Department on that day?
Yes.
What were your duties that day on March 22nd, 2011?
It's the same as I just described. We do all of those duties throughout our shift.
Is there any way that communication officers communicate with police officers while they out there on the road, ma'am?
Yes.
Could you please explain your procedure, ma'am?
Yes, through radio. If we're dispatching, officers key up through radio. We answer his questions or assist in whatever they need while they're on the road and provide safety for them.
Okay. Do you recall getting a 911 call from Mr. Jadon Brooks on March 22nd, 2011?
Yes, I recall.
Could you please tell us what you recall about talking to Mr. Brooks on March 22nd, 2011, ma'am?
I received the call from Jadon Brooks, and he stated that he had just been...
I think we played the 911 recording of that. I think that would be the best evidence of that, rather than her relaying what she may remember from that 911 recording. And I think all that's been played. So I think that would be certainly the better evidence than her remembering what was recorded. I think everything that came in is recorded. So
If he can't tell me how to question my witness or play the recording or whatever. He can't do that. I didn't do him like that. I haven't seen no rules where he tell me how to cross-examine people, what they should listen to to refresh their memory.
Well, I'm not sure she's going to be able to remember everything that's said, and we do have that evidence. I'll allow the question, but
I don't have no problem with playing it. If y'all want to play it and play the whole version of it, you know, I was trying to speed it up a little bit.
well, ask for a question. If you can ask a specific question about something on there, that might be helpful, or if you,
Okay, I try to do that.
I'm not
I'm just trying to.
telling you can't play it. I don't know.
I don't think they want to hear them on tape, so.
Well, just
It's okay. Okay. Ma'am, what do you recall specifically during that conversation with Mr. Jadon Brooks on March 27, 2011?
When I received the call, he stated that he was in some sort of carjacking, kidnapping, robbery. He stated that he was in the area of Winterville and Lexington Road, and he had to jump out of a trunk of a car, and that was the gist of it.
Ma'am, do you recall Jadon Brooks during your conversation with him that he telling you that he was carjacked by some guys that hit the red light with ski masks on? Do you recall that, ma'am?
The location that he gave was Winterville and Lexington at some tire shop across from the Carmike. Yes, he did state that there was 4 masked men and 1 unmasked man that he recognized.
Do you recall him saying anything about coming to 100 Granite Road in Winterville, Georgia, and anything about some marijuana? Did he ever mention that to you?
No, he never mentioned that to me.
Did Mr. Brooks ever mention to you anything about a sealed and black gun?
No. Well, I'm not trying to give any information as far as legal. I don't have any legal background, so I can't answer that question.
Did Mr. Brooks state anything about two black males being with him when he come to 100 Randy Grove?
No, he said nothing about Randy Grove.
Did he say anything about some marijuana during the conversation with you at all?
No.
You asked that question.
No. What did you do with the information that you retained from Mr. John Brooks during your 911 call with him?
All information that he gave to me, I've typed in a CAD system, and that's for the dispatcher to be able to read and dispatch officers and answer their questions that they need at the time.
Do you know who the dispatch person that you relayed this information to on March 22nd, 2011, ma'am?
Do I know the name of that person?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I know that dispatcher.
Okay, who was that dispatcher?
That dispatcher that day was Melissa Green.
Do you recall Ms. Green dispatching the information that she received from you out to the officers on the road in any way, ma'am?
She was a dispatcher, but the way it works is while I'm taking the call, she's dispatching, so I can't really answer any questions about what went on her end, because all I can answer is what was going on during my call, because I don't know,
So,
really.
do you recall any information that you sent out? So, let me rephrase that, ma'am. So, did you, in any way, send out any information pertaining to Mr. John Brooks about any marijuana in 100 Randy Road, ma'am?
No, sir, I never typed in anything about marijuana.
Okay. Well, no further questions, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Hamilton?
Yes, sir.
Everything that was said in its entirety was recorded, was it not, on the 911 call?
Yes, sir, everything is recorded in 911 center.
Anything that Mr. Brooks said when he called 911, and anything that you said was recorded?
Yes, sir,
correct?
yes, sir.
And there's nothing else outside of that that he would have said, or you would have said that was not recorded, was it?
No, everything is in recorded.
And what you actually typed was typed into a CAD system, and that's saved as well, isn't it?
That everything is saved. Everything that happened that day is recorded and saved.
Yes, ma'am. And what Melissa Green dispatched out was all recorded as well?
Because she dispatched what I typed, so whatever information I typed, she dispatched. And it comes from a saved system.
Right. And whatever she's dispatching was like the radio traffic, that's what you mean, that that's where she puts
That's where
out
she,
radio traffic and dispatches communications out there to other officers, right?
Yes, that's where she retained the information to relay it.
And y'all are trying to get that out there as soon as possible, correct?
Yes, sir?
And it's true that sometimes information comes in and stuff is dispatched before all the information comes in.
That is correct.
You know,
That is correct.
And sometimes more information comes in, and as it does, y'all are trying to get that out there to provide the officers as much up-to-date information as possible.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
During that day, if I can explain, during that day, the most pertinent information was given out. The most pertinent questions were being asked. Basically, during that time, we were trying to find these two vehicles, and we were trying to find the complainant. That was the most pertinent thing at that time. So, of course, we don't always get to ask or get all of the information during the call.
And the complainant, Mr. John Brooks, was found fairly quickly, and officers were dispatched to the location that he was, isn't that right?
That's right.
Okay,
Mhm.
so they could go ahead and immediately talk to him.
Right, and then
Right.
that's when they can get more information if they need from that
Sure.
point.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton.
Ms. Hamilton, while you were talking to John Brooks, did he have an opportunity to tell you about some marijuana?
That's been asked and answered, and leave the question.
Do you think Mr. Brooks had any time to tell you about some marijuana if he wanted to when you were talking to him on that phone?
That's speculation, Judge.
Okay. Ma'am, will you agree that the 911 call that your John Brooks called you and talked to you about set off this whole chain event that got us here today?
That's speculation.
He was a complainant. If he's the complainant, officers are gonna go to him and speak to him on whatever he's complaining about.
The information that he relayed to you never caused the dispatch to relay what she relayed on the radio to the officer. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes?
Okay. And would you agree that was the first thing that started the police to get involved as far as Jamie Hood and Jadon Brook because of what he called and told you first?
That's speculation as well, and I would object to that.
Your Honor, now you heard on that, yes. Okay. Your Honor, Jadon Brook called her first. She the call taker. And they called her to print the things that the things that Mr. Brooks told her caused her to relay certain information on her printed thing. And that caused Ms. Keela Hampton, that's how the police got on Jamie Hood, because it come from that initial call from her.
Sustained the objection, sustained the motion.
Ma'am, do you think, could you just don't hold it up, please? Do you think, well, the information that you received from Jadon Brook initially caused you to put out certain information through your print or your computer, whatever it was?
My job is to take whatever, anybody that calls 911, my job is to take whatever information that they give.
Okay, the information that Jadon Brook gave you pertaining to a carjacking armed robbery, you printed that out here. And that led to somebody else dispatching that information to the officer on the road.
Yes?
Okay, now, you didn't receive no information about no marijuana from no 100 Randy
That has
Road.
been asked several times, Judge. Yeah.
Did you print any information pertaining to the marijuana?
He asked that question as well. I don't think he did.
Did you print any information about 100 Randy Road and some marijuana during your initial?
No.
Why you didn't?
May I explain? When the call came in, of course, it's dispatched. Based on the dispatch, the officers, they immediately start looking for the vehicles that Jadon Brooks said that had him in the back of the truck, okay? First he said one car, then he said it was two. So they were looking, they asked for direction of travel, they were heading into the direction of this vehicle. At the same time, there was officers looking for him because they needed to get to him to get the information. So a lot of the questionings was based on where the vehicles were and where Jadon was so that they can get to him. So that may be possibly a reason why we never got to the gist of what really happened that day because of the pertinency to get to the vehicles and to the complainant.
Now, did Jadon Brook bring up Jamie Hood name when he first talked to you?
Yes,
So he done that?
yes,
Okay. Did that cause, Jadon Brook said he was carjacked, he brought up Jamie Hood. It did what caused the officer to look for Jamie Hood on March 22nd because of the thing that he called and told you.
I wouldn't say yes to that because complainants, they can say whatever, but it's not until the officer get out and talk to that person that they make their own tactical decisions. So I cannot answer that question to say that that's the reason why they look for Jamie Hood. I cannot answer that
Do
question.
you think that played a bearing in them looking up for Jamie Hood because of what Jadon Brook called and told you about Jamie Hood, put him in a trunk or carjacking him?
I can't say that that's directly why. I cannot say that the information he gave me directly, but it did have them look for the vehicle and try to get to him. But I don't know if that directly had them looking for you. I don't know if that, I can't answer that in its entirety and say yes. I can't say that.
Did you print Jamie Hood name in that information? Look for Jamie Hood.
No, I never typed look for Jamie Hood.
What do you say about Jamie Hood?
I typed Jadon Brooks stated that Jamie Hood was one of the persons.
And that led, it
repeat that question?
Did that call to dispatch the information that you relayed to the officer and put it on the road?
Yes.
Okay, now just say, do you think if Mr. Brooks had never called you in the first place and stayed at Jamie Hood, nobody would have been looking for Jamie Hood today? Is it fair to say that?
I guess, yes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
So Jadon Brooks called you and was spotted looking for Jamie Hood? For the Athens Clark County police officer and dispatch and everything?
I can't answer that directly, because it could have, when the officers got out there and spoke to Jadon, that may have had a bearing, but yes, he did say your name. He did say your name when I spoke to him, but I can't give you that directly. That was, him stating your name was that reason why they were looking for you. But yes, it could be a possibility.
Why they were looking for my car then?
He did state that there was 2 vehicles involved. So that's why they were out looking for the 2 vehicles that were involved. The descriptions, they were looking for those 2 vehicles.
Were they looking for a Cadillac DeVille that day? Because
He's-
Jadon Brooks said,
He stated a Cadillac DeVille, so they were more than likely looking for a Cadillac DeVille.
did anybody else in Athens, Georgia call the police on Jamie Hood that day and say Jamie Hood name in any way? Anybody that you recall other than Jadon Brooks?
I can only speak on the call that I received, and Jadon is the one I spoke to.
Uh, So after you printed, explain to me again, how do you relay that? You print it out? How did the dispatcher get what you say?
There's a CAD system that we have.
That's been asked and answered. I think she covered that before, detail right at the beginning of the questions about how that works.
You know, and I want to just get it so I don't have to keep going down this road and objection. It's a good base faith question. Could I just get the fundamental gist of how it works so I can just go on and get it over with and stop all this objection and all this? As it was good?
I've already asked the question.
Yeah, but I was trying to,
Answer the question.
I know I was trying to ask her again so I can write it down so I can understand how it works, so I know how to think of my question to it. But if you don't want to answer, I just plow right on.
I'll allow her to answer it again.
Could you tell me the process after you, what you do after you receive information, ma'am?
Once you receive the call, while that person is talking and while you're asking questions, just type that information in a system that every person in that room can see, including the dispatcher. And once the dispatcher sees the information, she dispatches and she gives the information that is in the call that she see that I typed, or whatever call taker typed. So that's how everyone can see the information in the room.
Okay. Oh, I got it. After you typed the information in, you had no more dealing with Jadon Brooks that day?
Well, after I received that call and that call was over, I did not talk to Jadon Brooks any
So
other
you
time that
didn't
day.
You didn't dispatch none of the information to officers on the road?
Nope, I just took the call.
Well, that's it.
Anything else, Mr.
No
Elmer?
further questions.
All right. Mr. Stevens?
Please.
Simple recall as far as ain't number 2 more.
Just step down. Call your next witness.
That'll be Miss Melissa Green, please. Melissa Green. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give to the court and the jury on the matter currently pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Please be seated, ma'am. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury in the court, please?
My name is Melissa Green,
Could you spell your last name for court reporter, ma'am?
Green.
Are you a communication officer for the Agricultural County Police Office?
Yes, sir.
Are you a certified communication officer in the state of Georgia?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been a certified communication officer?
11 and a half years.
Could you explain what your duties are as a communication officer for the Agricultural County Police Department, ma'am?
Generally answer 911 calls and dispatch police, fire, and sheriff.
Were you employed by the Agricultural County Police Department or the Sheriff Department back on March 22nd, 2011?
Yes, sir.
What was your duties on that day?
Dispatching.
Is there any way that communication officers communicate with police officers while they're on the road?
Through the radio.
Could you explain the process, how you do that? From the
We-
call taker to dispatcher to the officer on the road, could you give us that process?
Well, a call taker will take a call, and the computer automatically sends it to the pending screen on, in this case, I was the dispatcher. I pull up the call, I read what it is, and then I key up and I dispatch the call out to the officers and give them what information is given to me.
Okay. Do you recall on March 22nd, 2011, that Ms. Keela Hamilton typed information in the call pertaining to Mr. Chip John Brooks, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us about that, please?
That there was a call, came in initially as an unknown problem about somebody jumping out of the trunk of a car. And I sent officers to the general area where this was seen. And eventually we were able to get officers out with the man who had jumped out of the trunk and with some of the witnesses to figure out what was going on.
Okay. Ma'am, do you recall any receiving any information that John Brooks was carjacked and the red light had a pit and tire? Did you receive that information from Ms. Keela Hamilton?
I believe that that information was what was first thought, but we do not have every single bit of information at the very beginning.
Did you receive any information that was typed in the system from Ms. Keela Hamilton pertaining to John Brooks about any marijuana or 100 Rankin Road that day?
I don't recall anything like that.
After you received the information from call taker Ms. Keela Hamilton, what did you do with that information?
I dispatched officers to the scene. And I boloed the information out that we had over the radio for other officers.
Okay, did you receive any information about Jamie Hood that day?
I believe it came up at some point in time.
Okay. When Ms. Keela Hamilton typed any information pertaining to Jadon Brooks, do you recall her typing any information about Jamie Hood as a suspect, the one who put him in his trunk?
I don't recall whether that was the name given at that time or later time.
Ma'am?
I don't recall if that name was given at that very time or not. I would have to look at the call to see if it was actually in there. It's been 4 years.
Your Honor, may I refresh your memory of the call? I think this is showing something different.
out there as much as I would like to, I just don't know these guys. Right.
This is 911 call pertaining to March
It's
20.
it's going to need to be played off the evidence that's been admitted.
Yeah, but
That's the
it's-
whole purpose.
I don't see it. They done redacted off for a judge and
There was one that was a full.
that's what I'm looking for. It's got everything on it. I'm looking for it. Let's see, it's 685 there. Oh, this one there. I got it. 685.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I would like to report a kidnapping, a carjacking, and wrong robbery.
Okay, where you at?
I looked at it, I jumped out the boot of the car, then they hit me in the boot of the
You
car.
gotta let me know where you are, sir.
You know the People's Top Shop is?
The where?
People's Top Shop, right across the street from Carmichael.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna meet y'all there right there, something happening, but that's what happened, my friends have had to be right beside us when I jumped out the boot. And I see y'all on everything, all got me and everything. And I know exactly who one of the dudes there, I don't know who the rest of them are. They had ski masks on. And like Jamie,
Let me know what happened, sir. What's your name?
my name Judah, J-U-D-O-N, B-R-O-O-K-S.
Jadon Brooks?
Yeah.
You was carjacked?
Yeah, they took my car. They,
What kind of vehicle do you have?
35 Chevrolet Caprice convertible, cream color. They probably been burned up or something. And when I jumped out, the car was following
You said it was cream in color?
It's like a tan in color. Cream color convertible. The dude driving around there, yeah. What you doing? Thank you, man.
Which way did it go from Piven Turn?
They went to right going to it, what they street is they went on? They go to it, they took the right.
Off the Winterville Road?
They went on College Street, I came from Riverville Road.
Okay, they went towards, the street towards downtown?
I'm sure I'm gonna think they jump on the right there going towards the left, I bet you.
Okay, but you didn't see him go that way, or did you?
I think we're turning going to the road, like I said, towards, College Street.
Now, what's the taxi or vehicle, do you know?
I had to call my girlfriend, they took my phone too.
They took your phone, okay?
They took my shoe, my phone, they took.
How long ago did this happen, sir? Okay, all right, now tell me this, sir, okay, so you don't know the taxi or vehicle?
No, I had to call my old lady and her name.
Did she know the tag, is she there with you?
No, she's not, I didn't even call her, 'cause I ain't got my phone.
Okay, that's fine, sir. Okay, so are you at the Piven Tire Shop now?
I'm gonna go back there, we went by the middle school with, Freddie Hill. My friend, I had come pick his wife up, and then my kid back there, everybody get me
Hold
out.
on, sir, hold on 1 minute. where you're gonna meet with officers at, because they're already on the way, they're on the way looking for, what happened, you know, looking for that car, and they're gonna be looking to meet with you, but you're not where you say you were.
I'm gonna leave, we're gonna leave, Patterson Middle School now.
Okay, where are you gonna meet with the officers?
Right there where they have me at my picnic time.
How long is it gonna take you to get there?
We're gonna walk 5 minutes, and we pick up and watch them, see what they're doing.
Hold on, sir.
I was in the truck of a 2001 Cadillac DeVille. Saying they called.
You was in a truck?
Yeah, I jumped out the trunk. Let them take me somewhere. When I popped the trunk while I was in the boot of the car. I got the car on over there. I took my hand, I got my hand out of one of them, and I popped the boot, and as soon as the car stopped, I just jumped out the boot. So my compadres were behind me like they were following, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you look back up there, I can read off the right there in the street. Yeah, the paper towel and thing now when I jumped out the boot and everything.
They put you in the trunk of their car?
Yeah, they keep
Of your car?
they moved the boot to their car and they
What
looked
kind
at
of car was they in?
they looked at the same debris, Cadillac debris of 2001, Grand Company, same in coverage. I know the dude personally, they were crazy about it.
Who's the person's name?
Jamie Hood. Jamie Hood.
I'm trying to figure out your refreshing.
And how many people was with him?
I'm trying to figure out your refreshing for recollection. That's not her, that's Miss Hamilton.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
right?
She wouldn't know how to regulate it, she didn't know what Miss Keeler Hamilton relayed to her. This is what Miss Hamilton relayed to her, that's why I have to do this. This is what she did, this will call her the dispatch. The call taker was Miss Hamilton, and Miss Hamilton, received the information from Mr. Brooks, and she typed into the system, and that's how Miss Melissa Green saw it, and they called her the dispatch. That's why I had to do this.
I think you'd have to, I understand from all the stuff we had testified before from Kevin McGreevy, the call taker is one person, they're typing in the CAD system, and that pops up on Ms. Green's screen, what she typed in. What here again, I think Kevin McGreevy said not everything that comes in is typed in, so she'd have to be looking at the CAD perhaps, or certainly listen to her radio dispatch. That may refresh your memory, not the 911 tank that we just listened to.
Okay, what I'm trying to tell you, this is what called, this is the information she received, because she done had to call Miss Hamilton, and after Miss Hamilton typed this information, that's how she get it, that's how it go to the CAD, isn't that right, ma'am?
I would need to see the CAD call.
She received the CAD information. She never heard this.
I can understand, but this was the CAD information come from. You got to come from somewhere. This is what Miss Hamilton heard this, and therefore called Miss Hamilton and type it in, and therefore make the CAD come up. That's why I told you I had to get the gist.
So what are you refreshing this witness's memory from?
Okay, if we got a kid, a whole thing, she will understand. This is the last one. I mean, I got them all written down, we finna play the whole thing. But if you want me to get to her, I would gladly do it. Hers is 22, 23, and 24. But if you wanna do that, I will.
That's what she would be testifying about, would be,
That's the radio dispatch that she made out.
Hey, I do understand what y'all saying.
In order to know what was said, I would need to see the CAD call.
Okay, I'm finished.
The CAD was admitted into evidence, Judge.
Your Honor, it's also a help her, if I can let her hear her what she dispatched.
play that.
Okay.
he jumped out on Lexington right near Petman Diner. He's in another vehicle now, just past Clark Gardens. We're trying to get him to stop to meet with us.
And so we're finding out where the original incident occurred, where they got a hold of him in the car.
Ms. Green, do you recognize your voice in State's Exhibit 685? number
Yes, sir.
22? That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but we're also being advised that this occurred at the light right beside the tire.
Ms. Green?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 685, number 23, do you recognize your voice in what we just played?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 685, number 23, do you recognize your voice in what we just played?
Yes, sir.
Did you just say, do you recall saying this happened right here at the same time at the red light?
Well, that's what the assumption was. We have to do a lot of assumptions in our job
Okay. Tell us about that assumption. What made you come up with this assumption that he got out the red light?
because that's where the call went in at.
Okay. Did the information come from Ms. Keeler Hamilton that called you to,
It came from the CAD call. That was what the information I had.
okay, the CAD call came from what Ms. Keeler Hamilton printed on her computer?
That is correct. We also had other callers saying that they witnessed it there.
Okay. But I'm talking about pertaining to Mr. Jadon Brooke personally, man, who was on the phone with Ms. Keeler Hamilton.
I had no clue to know what from the call specifically at that moment came from Mr. Brooks or what came from other witnesses.
Okay. But you got your information from Ms. Keeler Hamilton, where she printed her computer that came up on that CAD call that made you make that assumption. Is that correct, ma'am?
That is correct.
Okay. And for the record, you stated this happened at Pitt Retire, right?
That was what I assumed at the time.
Okay, did you say anything during this call to the officer about 100 Randy Road was marijuana?
No,
Why didn't you?
I had no clue about anything in that area. It was never brought up.
It was never brought up.
Not at that time.
What do you want?
2041.
So they were splitting the trunk in the car, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we're at the light right there, and I guess when they turned the corner, he was able to get out.
Ms. Hamilton, and State's Exhibit 685, I'm sorry, Ms. Green, State's Exhibit 685, track number 24, do you recognize your voice on that track, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
If you recall what you just heard your voice say to the officer,
Yes, sir.
if you please tell the truth.
I said what I thought at the time was true, which was that it had occurred at that corner the whole thing had. We don't always get all the information immediately.
But at that time, you relayed that his information.
At that time, that was the information I had.
Did you say anything about 100 Randy Road and some marijuana?
No, sir.
Did you say anything about Jadon Brooke and her silver and black on?
No, sir.
Did you say anything about Jadon Brooke being with two black males with a book bag in their hand at that time?
No, sir.
I guess it's, you know, that's all I have.
Smaller.
Everything that was said, everything you dispatched, was recorded, right? Exact conversation?
Right. That's what we knew at the time.
That's right. And, the
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am, what you just heard your voice, that's also pertinent to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no further question, ma'am.
Should be excused.
Yes, sir. Or, let me get Mr., what his name out, just before I do that, this last one, so all of them might be able to go at one time, so if I just hold her to this last one, and it should be gone. Then we'll let them all go. I think this is Rhino Ramirez from, Mr. Yes, sir, Rhino Ramirez. Oh, boy. And I got it, I just had it. What I did not put it. Oh, you didn't run the line, I'm sorry. I get this headache in the flesh of it, Judge. Could you please, raise your right hand, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you give to the court and the jury on the matter currently pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, sir?
I do.
Could you please introduce yourself to the court and the jury, please, sir?
Thank you. My name is Randall Ramirez. I'm a 911 supervisor for the Athens-Clarke County.
Excuse me, sir, can you please speak a little louder, please?
Sure.
Slide up just a little bit. You don't have to be right on it, about 5 inches would be good.
Okay. My name is Randall Ramirez. I'm a 911 supervisor for the Athens-Clarke County Police Department. I've been there for 18 years now.
Are you a certified communication officer?
Yes.
Communicator out of Georgia?
Yes, sir.
How long, have you been certified in communication officer, certified communication officer?
18 years.
18. Please explain what your duties are as a communication officer for the Athens-Clarke County Police Department.
I answer 911 calls, non-emergency calls, general calls from the public for questions and stuff like that. We generally will type it into the computer system to, for the most part, for calls that are for service, meaning that an officer needs to respond to or some other kind of situation that the public needs help with.
Okay. Were you employed by the Athens-Clarke County Police Department or Sheriff Department back on March 22nd, 2011, sir?
Yes, sir.
What were your duties on that day on March 22nd, 2011?
I was tasked as a 911 supervisor along with answering phone calls and dispatching on the radio as the situation called for it.
Could you tell the jury something about, the way the process goes, you know, from call taker to dispatching to telling the officer on the road? Could you explain your version of that, please, for the jury, please?
Just like you imagine it, you answer the phone calls. Depending on what the priority is or what the problem is, you type it into the system. There's some things we can handle and some things that we can't. Then when you're done, you type it into the system. The way we've got it organized basically is the east side of town, the west side of town. The east side of town gets everything one side of millage, the west side gets it the other side of millage. Pretty straightforward. Everything's time-stamped, so as soon as you hit enter, it tells the time. You know, you send it to the particular console, it tells you the time. And we try and put in information more or less we're being told. We just have to put it in such a way that the officers understand what it is that they need to do. Try and simplify for everyone's sake, so they understand what the public is asking of them most of the time.
Okay. CAD and dispatch, the dispatcher see what she's saying by typing it?
Yes.
Okay, and the dispatcher relay that information out to the officers on the road? Is this how it goes, sir?
Yes.
Okay, do you recall having any connection with a Jadon Brooks on March 22nd, 2011, carjacking, alleged carjacking, kidnapping?
I just knew that that was an active pending call, or rather, I had taken a call from a gentleman that described a scenario that fit almost exactly what Mr. Brooks said when he called in. So we put the two and two together and realized they were probably the same.
Do you recall dispatching any information that you received from the CAD or any information from Ms. Keto Hampton who talked to Mr. Brooks pertaining specifically to Mr. Brooks, sir?
From what I understand, I had given out information on the radio. Situations happen very quickly, and the dispatcher may not be able to understand immediately what the relevance is. So I was able to condense the information quickly in a way that she wouldn't have been able to, just because she was just getting the information.
Okay.
And I think I gave it out on the radio. I broadcast to everybody, hey, we have this problem. We believe this is a serious problem. Look out for, and then you give the description of what it is, of what we think the problem is.
Okay, you don't recall specifically everything you dispatched on the radio pertaining to that?
No, I don't recall everything.
Well, Your Honor, I have approximately 4 to 5 tracks. I like to play them, refresh his memory.
All that, sir, unit standby for a Volvo reference. Possible carjacking or robbery that occurred. Say that it occurred on Pittman Tire, believe it's on Oconee Street, Lexington Road. Subject took a 75 Chevy convertible, tan in color.
Mr. Ramirez, in states exhibit 685, track 25, is that your voice that on that track?
Yes.
Could you state what you just heard yourself saying as far as the dispatch?
Yeah. What I just described to you guys for broadcasting on the radio, that's what I was trying to do. Give them a brief description of what I understood the situation to be, or what I was told the situation was. And this way, if officers were available and in the area, they could look into it. It's not hard information. It's information for them to be aware of. And if they see something that matches that description, they can act.
During this call, doing what you dispatching, exhibit 685 call 25, did you state that it was a carjacking at the Pittman Tire? Did you state that at any time?
Yes, that's what the recording said.
Okay. Did you state anything about 100 Granite Road or the marijuana at that time?
No, but just as far as the previous question is concerned, said Oconee Street or Lexington Road, I think is what I'd said. So, you could play it back if you wanted to hear it again.
I'm clear on it. Okay, you need to play it back?
Sure. Would you?
All that, sir, unit standby for a Volvo reference. Possible carjacking or robbery that occurred. Say that it occurred on Pittman Tire, believe it's on Oconee Street, Lexington Road. Subject took a 75 Chevy convertible, tan in color.
Okay.
What did you say occurred at?
On Lexington Road or Oconee Street.
Did you mention anything about Pittman Tire?
Yeah.
Did you mention anything about 100 Granite Road?
No.
Did you mention anything about any marijuana?
No.
possibly get on the bypass from Lexington Road headed up 29.
Did you recognize your voice and state exhibit 685 and up track 26, sir?
Yes, sir.
On the west side, you did stand by for a ball weapons, possible robbery or carjacking occurred on the east side. Could be a reference to a 75 Chevy convertible tan in color that was taken from a Jadon Brooks subject. Vehicle is said to be getting on 29, or rather on the bypass from Lexington Road, possibly going towards 29. Possibly occupied times, at least one black male.
Mr. Ramirez, do you recognize your voice and state exhibit 685, track number 28, sir?
Yes, sir.
Did you mention anything about 100 Random Road or some marijuana in that track?
Yes, sir.
Could all SO unit, when you say SO unit, could you tell the jury what you meant by all SO unit?
Like I said, we break it up just to handle the workload. It's three different radios. SO has their own, or Sheriff's Office has their own area of responsibility, and then the East and West have their own areas of responsibility. But they all wear a uniform, and they're all sworn by the state. So we like to tell everybody available about potential crime. So if an East Side unit is not close, maybe a Sheriff's Department officer is close. And this way, they can act quickly. Somebody in law enforcement can act quickly with the available information.
So is this what we hear you say, is that going out to all officers and Clark County with radio on to hear? Is that?
Yes.
Possible suspect is a Jamie Hood, located 240 Sycamore Drive. Apartment India 2I2. This is all very preliminary information. No further at this time.
Mr. Ramirez, in state exhibit 685, track 29, well, that's your voice you just heard, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Did you say anything about the possible suspect of Jamie Hood and Sycamore Drive?
Yes.
Okay. Did all units in Clark County radio hear this information?
I don't know which one that was, if that was East or West, because just now I think I didn't specify East or West on this particular track. It's probably West side. And so anybody that could hear the West side frequency at that point in time heard that information go out.
During that time, did you mention any marijuana or 100 Random Road?
No.
Would you agree that the information you just revealed over radio to all units is what made officers to go to Sycamore Drive looking for me the first day, that day?
Not necessarily.
What would you call it, sir?
Well, you give the information out, and if there's someone available, they'll go that way. If there's no one available because they're either busy on calls or going home or coming back onto shift, it doesn't necessarily happen right on the spot. You give the information out because you want everyone informed. The information that we give out isn't necessarily, it's all preliminary information. It's what we're being told. We put in the computer system what we're told by the people who are calling us. Then it's the officer's job to investigate. At one point or another, an officer's going to go over there and look at for someone at Sycamore Drive. So by my giving it out like that, doesn't guarantee someone's going at that moment. All I know is that if there's somebody close, they should acknowledge it and they will follow through on it. That is the best we can do.
This information that you call that a BOLO, be on lookout, is that what you call the correct word?
Yes,
Okay, did this information come from a Mr. Jadon Brooks on March 22nd, 2011?
yes.
Do you recall Ms. Keela Hamilton being on duty and talking to Jadon Brooks and printing this information out?
I do.
And the information that she print out caused you to put this information out to all officers who listen, bro?
Correct.
So is it safe to say Jadon Brooks allegation sparked the officer, the one who went Sycamore Drive looking for this carjacking suspect? Jadon Brooks information sparked that? Will you agree with that?
Repeat that, please.
The information that Jadon Brooks called to the 911 lady, Miss Keela Hamilton, that caused her to print it in the computer, which caused you to look at the information, process it, and then you get on your dispatch and you tell the officer about Bolo Alpha, Jamie Hood. Did Jadon Brooks information, Miss Keela Hamilton caused you to do that?
Well, it's really kind of a combination. We have to make sure someone is going to go. So we try and figure out if someone heard it and we know someone heard it or we know someone's in the area, then we'll send them. So yes, I guess to answer your question. I'm sorry, let me just say, it's probably just not as simple as you're saying it. It's always a little more complex than that.
I'm not asking about the complexity. I was just only asking.
You need to ask a question. He doesn't.
Okay. So, but the information that Jadon Brooks is what you was relying on that information.
Yes, what Mr. Brooks said is what we were going to act upon until we could figure out whether it's valid or not valid.
Okay. So at doing the track, State 685, track 29, at no time did you tell any officer about 100 Ranch Road, marijuana at no time?
Right.
Did you tell any officer about a silver and black gun at any time?
And no, I don't believe so.
Did you tell the officer about Jadon Brooks being with two guys with a book bag? Did you?
You know, I'd have to listen to everything all over again because that was a couple of years ago, and you know, at my radio traffic, I might have mentioned something about that.
Don't worry about it. That's enough.
Okay.
Well, Your Honor, I think I have no further questions for you.
Ramirez, everything that y'all do there at the center is recorded, correct?
Yes.
And in fact, the call that Jadon Brooks made, Keela Hamilton took, that was all recorded his exact words.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
That's correct.
And are you familiar with everything that Jadon Brooks actually said to Keela Hamilton at that time, pretty much?
Yes, that's pretty much.
And you understood that basically he said right from the get-go that he basically was able to get out of the trunk, escape out of the truck, that he was hogtied.
Correct.
And did you hear Miss Hamilton later on, when he wound up saying trunk again, she wound up saying, hey, get out of a trunk? You hear her say that?
Yes.
Well, that would give you the impression then, I guess, that Ms. Hamilton may not have picked up on the fact that he'd said that he was escaped from a trunk there at Pittman Tire, right?
Yes. Yes.
And in fact, that first call, there wasn't any indication that actually everything that possibly happened to John Brooks just happened there at Pittman Tire. That wasn't that indication, was it?
Correct. That's
In
correct.
fact, y'all had to dispatch officers to really find out exactly what happened, isn't that right?
That's exactly correct.
That's why you dispatch officers, so they can talk to the complainant and find out the details of what happened. Right?
If I may say, what often happens is we can only give them the information we have. And if the officers have any kind of sense in their head, they'll handle it as an investigation, not aggressively, not just immediately acting upon these situations. That will get them hurt, and that will get someone else hurt. And, you know, I've worked under Chief Lumpkin for most of my time. That used to drill that into their heads, whether people listen or not. But he certainly did drill it into our heads that this is the only information we have to act on. You take it as information. It is not anything you can necessarily arrest someone on. You have to investigate it. So ordinarily when they go to someone's house, unless they see them acting out, they will handle it, you know, hands off until they have no other choice. That's always been my experience. Thank goodness.
And as information initially comes in from a 911 call or dispatch, or from a 911 call, as they initially get the information, they're immediately trying to send it out as quickly as possible so the dispatcher can get the information out as quickly as possible.
Yes, sir.
But it's frequent, of course, that more information comes in, and that particular information that goes out to everybody is updated even more, right?
Yes.
And that's a fluid process, but where the initial information, as it becomes known, is expanded and becomes perhaps more accurate as it goes out. Fair enough?
It will change the situation, and again, if the officers are listening, they will change what they're doing to address it properly.
Sure.
If it becomes a violent situation, then they'll have indication of how they should behave before they get there, rather than, you know, on TV it makes it look like they charge into everything, but not if you don't want to get hurt, you know.
And one other thing. When Ms. Hamilton was getting this call from Jadon Brooks, you actually got a separate call from someone who apparently witnessed that, correct?
Yes.
Was that through 911 itself?
It was actually the first call we received
Yes.
for the
Basically,
incident.
you indicated what was reported that happened there matched up with what Jadon Brooks indicated happened.
And we're correct, and we were able to put that information together and you know, form a more coherent picture, hopefully a more coherent picture.
As you were sending it out as quickly as you could.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Ramirez,
Yes,
did
sir.
did the first person call you, did they mention anything about James Hood and Sycamore Drive?
No.
So, the information that you relayed to the officer, when you agreed up to send them to Sycamore Drive, look for this carjacking suspect, James Hood?
Not the information I answered on the telephone wouldn't have. It was the following information that would have.
Jadon Brooks is the only person that you recall that they mentioned James Hood.
Yes.
Okay. And by him mentioning James
So I can't make stuff up. I can only put in what people say, and if that's what the facts come back to, then that's what we go with.
Why did you tell all units James Hood suspect Sycamore Drive?
Well, if you listened, I qualified almost everything with a possible, because, you know, we want to be careful too. Well, I like people's civil rights. I don't want somebody's civil rights to go into the truck because I said the wrong thing. That would not be a good day.
You won't want no false information lead to an officer losing their life either, would you?
That's
That
the
is-
minute that I would object to that.
Well, are you aware of the police shooting incident on Sycamore Drive?
Yes.
Okay. Now, why would them officers send to Sycamore Drive?
Because, and if they do that, they're in a much better position to come out safely.
Thank you, sir. No further questions. Madam President. Even all three of them, your excuse, sir.
Thank you.
Well, your next witness.